Hi guys, welcome to Manhood Explained. My name is Camille, and today is 12 April 2020. Welcome to video number 107. And today we're going to talk about how to deal with her asking you about three things that she irritates you with. And if you watch the previous three videos, we kind of covered all four things that may happen. First of all, asking her about three things that she likes about you. Second, asking her about three things that you irritate her with. And then in the third video, we talked about three things that she might ask you about, three things that you like about her. And then asking yourself, or her asking you about three things that she irritates you with. That's what we're gonna be talking about today. So if you want to catch the whole idea and every combination, then watch every video, because that's gonna be like a package of its own. But today I want to talk about this, and I left it for the end because it's a tremendous thing to go through, like go deep into, because it'll tell you a lot about yourself and your ability to handle your relationship, basically. Because look what happens, and that exactly happened to me. And if you were going through the videos as I said, and you start asking her about those things, you probably were asked about that already. That she'll ask you about what do you think about her already, because that's the whole notion of all of this. If you start to ask her about yourself, and if you allow her to tell you three things that she likes about you and three things that you irritate her with, that's gonna be, and if you handle it well, then she'll automatically ask you about her. Why? And this is the very important lesson number one, because this is exactly what will happen every time when you're gonna prove that you can handle something. Because if you were able to be vulnerable, if you were able to not only take the praise, but you were also able or capable of receiving like a harsh, or not harsh, but like a criticism about yourself, you were able to handle it well, then she felt safe in the space of talking about maybe not so nice things, but maybe she saw that you were able to not only handle it but look for solutions. And then amazing thing happens when you're able to do this and prove that you're good at it. She'll feel safe. She'll feel that you kind of allow yourself to be vulnerable, and you handled it well. So now, her turn. She feels comfortable enough to hear maybe things that she doesn't want really to hear, but maybe she thinks, and she might think about it this way, that if he was able to handle it, and he was looking for solutions how he can make this whole thing better, I would do even more, because of how she loves you and how she cares about your relationship. And it's much more than you do in conscious level. But that's something that it's obvious when you see how much more emotional they are, and how much more they experience life because of understanding so much more about emotions. But that's like a first lesson of leadership. If you're able to handle something which is not so nice, she will follow. Because now you build an environment of trust that she feels okay to go and be vulnerable as well. So get this and have it in your mind. Very important lesson. Second thing that you want to look at is, or think about, is how to talk about it, and whether she is asking you about it, just as I said, it happened in my case, or maybe you just want to say something because you thought about it, and now you want to make a move to try to change those things in your relationship. Then you have to understand two major things, and this is something that you'll have to learn how to manage this. First of all, you need to really understand, what do you really want. What is the thing that she annoys you with, but not what she's doing wrong, but what is it, and how does it make you feel. Because it's not about pointing that she's doing something wrong, but it's about showing how you feel as a result of her doing whatever. Because if you look close enough, this exactly talking with her in her own language, because she's talking a language of emotions. And it's not about pointing the fingers. It's about saying, listen, if this thing happened, I feel bad. And even more, if you say, listen, I'm not pointing fingers. I don't want you to feel attacked, especially if she's not asking you. You might want to say something like this. But you have to say, listen, whenever something like this happens, I feel bad, and I feel scared to talk about some things, and I cannot be myself. I don't feel that we are honest with each other. And that's why let's think, what can we do to make this thing not happen anymore? How can we build some methodology, some way to approach those things to solve the problem? And this is crazy, because if she saw you handle this from your side, she will be much more open to talk about this and find solutions for what she is doing wrong, if you know what I mean. And this is great. This is achievable if you know what's wrong and how that makes you feel. And if you do this at least once, you'll see that this is the way you're supposed to solve any problem in your relationship. Not by arguing about it, not screaming at each other, not pointing fingers, not screaming and using those arguments as an ammo to hurt the other person. But what you have to do, going back to the point number one, you have to be able to lead your relationship, to talk about this kind of issues when everything's fine, when you feel cool, when you can just sit down and talk about it. And maybe something happened and you just want to say, babe, may I have a request to you, because look, this thing happened, and I want you to know that how I feel and how it makes me feel bad, and I don't want to feel bad in a relationship. I don't want this thing to be, and I don't want to be quiet about it, but I don't want to hurt you and I don't want to attack you. So how can we solve it? And then you are leading in finding solution. And if she knows that she can trust you, then you're not going to scream and yell. You're going to see that how many issues you're going to be able to solve right there on the spot, just because you're able to handle your emotions, just because you know if you have emotions, you're going to stop and you're going to talk about it in an hour, not right now. But you are leading, and you're leading by example. And then it just start happening that you solve problems without screaming, and then you stop screaming at all. You start arguing at all. And some of you may say, this is never going to happen. Trust me, it will. But it all starts with you being someone who's able to be open and vulnerable, show and build this environment of trust. And then being consistent in doing the same thing with what you want to change in her behavior. Just be the leader. It's just going to happen. And listen, this is what I want you to take from this video. You're not going to feel like a man in a relationship when you learn the language of sunshines, rainbows, and unicorns. It's not about that. You're going to feel like a man when you be intelligent enough to learn whatever language you have to learn, whatever vocabulary you have to learn, you're going to learn, just to be able to build an environment of trust, and then ask her, what can we do with this or that so we could feel good? So we would not be afraid to come home and talk and share what happened, and even with the things that we're struggling, that we'll be able to talk about it and solve the problem. And then, because you're going to lead, then you're going to feel like a man. But because you're going to lead this whole thing to find solution, apply it, and then end up this whole conversation that might be an argument with smile on the face, on your faces, and basically hugging each other. Because you will start to feel like a man when you'll be intelligent enough to lead this whole thing and be able to pull this whole thing. Then you understand why you can start to feel like a boss, because you can feel like have this under control, under control. I think is a good word. And then you start to see that she's gonna trust you no matter what's gonna happen, because she will trust you by seeing this, the building an environment of trust and solving solutions, that you can handle whatever happens. And then you start to understand why you start to be proud to being a guy. But it all starts with you being able to be a leader and proving that you're trustworthy. It all starts with you being able to handle 3 things that she irritates you with. If you like this video or didn't like this video, comment, give me a shout, DM me. I'm really interested in your point of view, or maybe some of your stories that can say something pro or against it. I really want to learn from you guys as well, because I know that you've got things or situations that I never even thought about. And if there's anything I could record video about or tell you about, shed my idea or my view on something, give me a shout, I'll be glad to do so. That being said, see you tomorrow.